Hi, my name is Jenny Whisker from The Sewing Kind, and this video is all about helping you decide which face mask pattern will work best for you. I have tried 3 different patterns. They're all breathable, but one point to make is they are not medically rated. So if you're looking at this video and thinking about making a face mask for the coronavirus, please do keep in mind that it will not stop you getting the virus. What it does do is act as a barrier if you're not showing symptoms, or if you are worried about transmitting the virus through a cough or a sneeze, it will give you some barrier protection. So this is my experience of the patterns. Remember, they are not medically rated. I'll talk you through the patterns, I'll talk you through the fabrics, and I'll include all the links that you need in the notes on the YouTube video as well. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to need for each of these is supplies. Like anything that you sew, the better quality materials that you use, the better the outcome will be of the project. This is really good quality quilting cotton. This is brushed flannel. It's brushed cotton or flannel. You can see it's a bit fluffier, and apparently it does offer better protection as well. Both are breathable, but they are quite warm. With fabrics, you can also use linen and silk. They're both breathable. If you are a beginner, do keep in mind that silk is quite tricky to work with. So if you're starting off and this is one of your first projects sewing, cotton is definitely the best one to go with. These are all lined, actually, these patterns. So you'll need a piece of fabric for the front, you'll need a piece of fabric for the back. But remember, you can use the same fabric front and back if you want. It just gives you double protection. These are my range of elastics. This is 1/8 of an inch of an elastic. These are 1/4 an inch elastic. Different colours just for the look, because I have different types of fabrics. You can also use circular elastic, but I found these ones worked a little bit better for keeping the masks in place. Scissors, I love these, rotary cutters and squares, and for the first pattern it's very simple, so it's 2 rectangles, so my Omni grip is brilliant if you need to do some measuring from there as well. Let's go on to the first pattern. The first one comes from the Turban Project, and this is definitely the simplest type of mask. They have a website, they have a Facebook group, and they also have a YouTube tutorial that talks you through step by step how to make these. This is what you need. This is not a pattern, this is just an indication of the distances of how wide they are. So you can see for an adult it's 9 inches across, 6 inches down the side. Child, 8 inches across the top, 5 inches down the bottom. And they are just 2 rectangles. As well as the YouTube tutorial, they've also got a set of instructions, so it's really easy to work through it. And these are the sample face masks. So your 2 rectangles get sewn together, turned right side out. The only disadvantage of this particular pattern is these elastics are not adjustable. So if you make these and they don't quite fit, you won't be able to put the elastic in. But they're a really great, simple sewing project, and they do the job. You can see I've brushed cotton on this side and I have regular cotton on the other side. This one, I have cotton on this one, and a linen cotton mix the other side. So you can see I have a children's size and an adult size. I'm just looking at my notes to see if I have anything else to mention on that one. No, that's definitely the simplest one. And that one is free as well, and they do all sorts of other great charity work, so it's worth looking at their website. Next one I got from a website called craftpassion.com. The pattern for this is the one that I was making at the start. So you can see it's obviously very different in that it has a curve at the top of the nose. So that's one of them that I've made, and I'll show it to you close up. This is also a free pattern. There's more detail on this one. You can see there's a channel at the side of this one, and that allows you to put the elastic in, tie it, and adjust it. So if it's for yourself or anyone else, you can leave those loosely tied, send it to the person, they can adjust it. And then what you do is you pull the elastic when it's the right length, and you bring that knot back inside there. and then you know it'll be fitted to your needs. You can see the top stitching at the front there. It does add to the comfort of it. And friends of mine went away to Japan with 3 different types of face masks that I made them, and they said these were by far the best fitting ones. Couple of things to consider with this. Here's the pattern that you will see. It does come in a range of different sizes. They do come up quite small. I'm only 5'3". I made the teenage and women's size, and I found it just fit me. So even if you're a bit taller, I would go for your regular adult size, go for the man size. The other thing to keep in mind is you have to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance for all the pattern, which is a bit awkward. I wish they had included them all together. And I've done that myself. It was a bit of messing around with it. So on this one, you see I've used some paper, added an extra 1/4 inch to the seam. What I also did for the adult pattern is I added an extra inch on this end, because this is for the casing at the side. When I made it first, I went exactly to their instructions, and I found it was quite a struggle to get the safety pin to go through here with the elastic attached to it. So I just added a bit of extra room on the side so that the flat elastic can go through. This tutorial, you can see she actually uses the circular elastic, which takes up extra space. And possibly that's why at the side she didn't leave so much room. So the obvious advantage to this one is that you can adjust it at the side. It is quite a comfortable fit. And I'm in the middle of making some as well, so I can show you work in process. So this is the front of one, this is the lining of it, and I will attach those together. And again, you'll see I've gone for the brushed cotton on that side, and trying to make them fun as well, because I'm sending them to a friend who has children. It's all quite scary at the moment, so this is something quite fun. This is really good quality cotton. This not so much, but they should wash well. Bear in mind with the virus or with other things, they also will help if you're putting your hand up to your face. It stops you touching your face, which is how it's transmitted. But if you touch the mask, the virus is on this mask as well. So if you were taking this off at the end of the day, and if you're worried about someone having given it to you, make sure you wash it, because it could be sitting on the mask as well, and then wash your hands. So that's the next stage up in the pattern. Looking at my notes on this, it is a better fit. Remember, it is a small fit. Remember about adding your extra 1/4 inch seam allowance as well, and the extra width of the side. The other thing it doesn't allow for is if you move this over, when you're closing over to make your casing, it's your final step. Can you see that's actually a raw edge? And it doesn't advise, it actually advises you to have a straight stitch, but I couldn't handle that, so I had to make sure I enclosed my raw edge. So a zigzag stitch works really well there. And then onto the next pattern. This is one I paid for. This was $8 on the Mama Can Do It website. Really good pattern. This is a bit trickier in terms to how to make it. So what does it come with? You've got 2 different types of pattern that comes with this. You've got the fitted face mask, which is like the one that we just looked at, but it's got an extra chin strap. Can you see that at the bottom? So that's an extra bit of sewing. It is a bit trickier. Everything else is pretty much the same in the construction of this one. But that is just sewing around a curve, and you've also got the lining, so it can get a bit tricky. Not the best one to start out with if you're a beginner sewer. So take a look at, you've different options here. You'll obviously cut out your chin strap from there. You print it off yourself. The other option that they have is a simpler one. And can you see from this photo what they ask you to do is measure from between the eyebrows to the end of the chin here. And then you go to this and you look at your size chart and you make it differently. Now, this is just slightly different from the first pattern in that it's not a rectangle altogether. Quite simply, when you are cutting this out, you cut it on the fold there, and that's your full rectangle. So that's a simpler one as well. The difference between the Mama Can Do It rectangular mask is that it is adjustable, because they do ask you to put in this same casing at the side, so you will knot the elastic and be able to adjust it if you need to. Let me just show you this one on. sorry, it's quite tricky to maneuver a mobile with one hand and get a face mask fitted on. So you can see from there, fits quite well. In fact, that does fit more snugly than the others. The extra chin strap really does make a difference. Like I said, that one is $8. You print it off online. I think it's a 1/4 inch seam allowance as well. It comes in a range of sizes, which is obviously great. And they seem to be fairly true to size, except the other one was a bit smaller, but this one, because you're measuring, you can be pretty sure what you're going to get. Make sure you do use good quality cotton for all of these. Take a look at the instructions there. I will include the links to all of these in the notes of the YouTube pattern. I have my own Facebook group called The Sewing Kind, where I can happily answer any questions. I hope this video helped you decide which of these patterns to choose, which worked right for you, thinking of all you, your friends and your family during this tough time. Please do connect with me. Please let me know if I can help any more, and contact us through the Sewing Kind Facebook page.